Hi everybody, my name is Vedran and I'm CEO of Revuto. Today with me here is
Zvonimir Mlinaric. You know me, of course. I work at the Air Fund at Revuto, and I also know something about blockchain, especially Cardano blockchain. So yeah, I'm joining Vedran today.
And here is our CTO, which is actually not here, and this is unfortunate situation that Marko had to cancel because he is sick. So Marko, get well soon. Marko is traveling on Friday back for the US, and he promised to join us next time in a video, probably not from the studio, but we're gonna do something like the similar like we did last time, live YouTube video, but from the Zoom call or something like that. So yeah, thank you for being here. We have a couple of things that we're gonna talk about today. This is the first Ask Me Anything event from the studio this year. Yes. We skipped January because January was slow. People were skiing.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's mid of February. Hopefully you had a good, nice Valentine's Day yesterday. And yeah, regarding the schedule, I think that we're gonna have a next event live from studio in a month or so, something, so mid-March. And in between we're gonna do try to repeat that same format while having that live YouTube video. So okay, that's it. Let's now jump to the important thing that we're gonna talk about today. First thing, yeah, about the content. So I did last time with a couple of friends that we called it Crypto Talks, that live YouTube video. I think that's a good format. We should continue that. And besides that, I did a long 4 hours long video about how I started the Revuto and what the Revuto is. But I uploaded the first part of that, and I was not pleased with the rest because I did that during the night. I was really pretty tired. And I'm gonna redo the video and I'm gonna upload the video, but I believe that video is really something you should see because I'm gonna be explaining why we actually did Revuto. I already in a way did, but what we are planning to do with Revuto, why Revuto is so special, how we are combining the traditional financial instruments with the Web3 technology, and things like that. I'm gonna also go through the slides. I'm gonna also show you our customer support tool to see, how many users we have from where, from which countries, and some interesting numbers. Yeah, that's regarding that. Then, yeah, I already promised that I'm gonna do a special video about a preview of version 4.0. That the big anticipated update from Revuto, which is actually it's containing that we call it active subscription management system. For now, it's a passive one, but when we add virtual debit cards to the setup, that you're gonna be able to actively control and manage those payments towards subscriptions. So it's a similar setup, but it allows a lot of great things. And then, so yeah, there is an update about the roadmap. So I already did the roadmap. I know that I promised that it's gonna go out in first week of February. Unfortunately, that was not the case because our web developers didn't put that online. I was promised to get that crypto.revuto.com webpage up during this week. So let's hope that this is gonna be up until Friday. There are gonna be some other updates also on the web page, nothing major, and also the version 1.9 of a white paper is gonna be connected to the web page. That's basically it. Zvone?
Yeah, thank you for the intro, Vedran. I actually want to mention two things that happened recently. The first thing is that, as some of you have probably seen, that Revu ADA pool is opened on MisliSwap. It's a concentrated liquidity pool, so I'm not going to go into details about what does that mean, but just I want to mention it like really quickly that concentrated liquidity enables people to focus liquidity on some price interval. So you can actually enhance the activity of your liquidity at some price interval. That has some benefits, that's a good thing. We yet have to see how that works on Cardano, if people will adopt these concentrated liquidity pools. But Uniswap, which is like the most popular and the biggest DEX in the crypto in the world, it enables people to use concentrated liquidity. So you can trade Revu ADA and provide liquidity for it on the missing swap.
That's an awesome news, and I'm really proud that we managed to do that. So we released Milk rewards in January. Besides that, we also released the Gens token. But when it comes to MusliSwap, we are really proud that we managed to do such a partnership. I believe that the first concentrated liquidity pool was for JET. They had some problems with that, so I need to mention that this is just in first stages of that setup. But if you want to try it, I urge you to go there to try it. This is actually the first official partnership with decentralized exchange on Cardano. And we like MusliSwap, and we were promised if we're gonna get some traction there, that those guys are gonna offer us or our community farming option.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing I want to mention is the recent price activity on the centralized exchanges of Revu. We have said many times that we're not focused on the price of Revu token. That's not our core business. It's not what we chase. We do not want to pump Revu and have some inorganic growth of the price. That's not our goal, but it's always nice to see that people are trading Revu, and especially when it's trading upwards and not downwards. But what we have seen from this recent price activity is that there is a lot of liquidity actually for Revu. Like in one day there was trading volume of more than $1 million, if I'm not wrong. That means like 20-30 million Revu tokens. It's a huge liquidity. If you go to some decentralized exchanges, you can see that all of the Cardano native tokens combined sometimes that do not have this volume, and Revu managed to do it in one day. So that's a good sign. The centralized exchanges have some drawbacks, and disadvantages, but they also provide some really cool advantages, and we're really happy that we are simultaneously listed on multiple DEXs and on different centralized exchanges. So that's a really good thing, and it also shows. I'm not trying to give some hopium, but that also means that small changes and small input from the investors can really move the price. And we can only imagine what will happen when more people find out about Revuto, and also when the better market conditions come. So
definitely good signs. So we were surprised as well. So actually probably somebody did nice buy, and then things change quickly. We were trending on KuCoin and Gate. That was really great to see. Some optimism, but still, it really takes. It doesn't take a lot to, change things for the better. But again, let's not concentrate on the price, on the token price. That should be a consequence of our work. We are just focusing on the product and on the utility of Revu token, and this is something that should, come during this year as a big change compared to the last year when we were mainly focused on building the app.
I can say a few words about that. I have to put a disclaimer. We do not have a big news now at this moment. We do not have a date or something like that. We do not want to promise anything concrete at this moment, but what I can say is that we are really actively communicating with our partners, with investors, with people we work with, and also inside the team inside the Revuto company, we are discussing when and how is the best way to release the core product. And as you know, our core product is virtual debit cards. Many people are waiting for that. It's a core business for us. It's something that we actually build our company around that. So yeah, we do not have the exact dates, but you have to understand that virtual debit cards is really hard to obtain. You cannot just come at some place and sign a contract or buy something and have these licenses. So it's a lot of legal stuff and a lot of hard work, and that's also the reason why only top projects in crypto and top tier exchanges offer their own virtual or physical debit cards. So if you look other projects, there are not many projects that offer Visa or MasterCard or any other card. So yeah, we have this license. We're really proud on that, and currently we are just waiting for the right moment to release it, because the one thing is that this is really pricey. I have to be honest. Yeah, it's really pricey, and once you kick off that feature, you cannot just pause it or just postpone it. At that moment it becomes a liability in some way. You have to run this, you have to pay the customers, you have to pay the providers for different features, and if we do this at the wrong moment, then we would run out of money pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that's not something we want.
Yeah, so running out of money is a hot topic, because people got wrong impression that Revuto is running out of money. So that's not the case. But the case is that we are actually quite different than many other products on Cardano. So we are combining fintech product and traditional financial instruments with Web3 technology to offer our users superior products. That's basically it. So when it comes to running the card program from the MasterCard, we all know that fintech companies have a big problem, at least in the beginning, because all of them are not profitable, not from the beginning. So there is certain amount of the users that you need to acquire, and then to have certain amount of paying customers actually to make that business profitable. So there is a difference when we say sustainable business and profitable, because everything is set up to be sustainable, but still it's not profitable from the beginning. And we need to really be cautious about that, and especially because user growth is something that we need to focus the most. The more users we have, the better for us, and in the end, the more paying customers we have, the better for us. If we start slow, it could drain us. We could bleed out, especially now during the still bad market conditions, although some positive market price movement we saw recently. Still, this is engagement is pretty low. We now see it on our live YouTube videos and things like that. So although we have some really good support from our community, still when we look at numbers and we follow numbers every day, it's still not great. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but the case is that our user acquisition model is based on crypto incentives, on awesome cashback and referral rewards. Those are not so appealing to non-crypto users, I would say, and that referral program is not gonna do well now. And the other way how we can engage more users is actually to pour a lot of money into PR and marketing activities, which this is the money that we don't have. If we look at how much would it cost to actually do a really good campaign on such a broad market when we are talking about the European economic area. So yeah, that's it. So we're gonna still everything is ready. We are compliant. We technically integrated. with service providers. So now let's just wait and see to launch at the right moment. I know everybody is really impatient and you just want to have this feature out, but again we just have a one shot with this, and let's try to be really smart about it. Time is running by. It's not like we are standing still, so everything is gonna be okay. Just please be patient with us. Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next topics, and maybe later I'm gonna just tell that we have some questions here from our community, which we're gonna also be answering, but later after we do this official part. Okay, staking center. Yeah, so this is something that we've been working on since a year ago, something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's been working pretty well. People regularly ask us what are going to be next staking options, and we are really cautious about those things as well, because we cannot do token swap with those projects which cannot redistribute our tokens in the same way as we do. So basically, if we give them our tokens and if they just sell those on dump on the market, this is not that we can benefit from. In our case, we have advantage because we have a staking center and we can actually redistribute those tokens that we get from other projects to our community. But still, we have some interesting things. The first thing is I need to mention that the partnership with the Indigo protocol. So stablecoins are a big part of our ecosystem. We need stablecoins because of a couple of things. First, people need something stable to actually pay for their subscriptions. Also, later on, we're going to have subscription NFTs. People need to buy them with stablecoins because that's how we're going to know how much was prepaid for something. Then there is that micro lending and borrowing feature. It's a DeFi setup, so the stablecoin is a must for that setup, and also that setup is going to support buy now and pay later option for the Revuto physical debit cards. And our fund staking. So this was a huge thing for us and still is. So we are using funds to actually invest in other Cardano project and profit by doing that. So again, we're going to do that by supporting stablecoin from Indigo protocol, which is called IUSD. Eventually, later on, we're going to possibly add some other options as well, because we all know that JED is already out and USDA is going to be coming. But when we are talking about the R fund, so again, we're going to use those funds to invest in other projects and under really good deals, terms, and profit from that, and redistribute those profits as a yield to our stakers. So we have a few options.
Yeah. Sorry. At first, we're going to have 3 options. I'm not going to announce them now. I could tease them, or should we mention it?
Well, there's going to be two options for staking.
We're going to have 6 months and 12 months period lockup. We decided to put this a little bit longer lockup because that's some average time we need to make some profits on these projects and to do some significant partnerships, with them, and to follow them up and so on. So it's not going to be some short period like we had with some previous staking pools where we got some tokens already from the partnership, which we could make profit on and give them back to the community. So yeah, we're going to have the 6 months and 12 months options, and we're going to offer some pretty good API. Yeah, on stable coins. So that's not something you get a lot in crypto. We know that some setups, failed, which provided huge APIs, but these setups were, tricky from the start, I would say. But like Vedran said, we are going to use our profits to give back this API to the community.
When we are talking about the DeFi and the protocols and the smart contracts, the thing is that in all those setups, in order for somebody to earn money, somebody needs to lose money, and that's it. In a nutshell. So it's bad. We are more like doing it in conservative, more traditional way. Again, searching for a sustainable business models where we invest those funds in something and then take profits and return the profits to you, and also keep some profits for ourselves as well. So when we go and when we talk about that, also to de-risk everything, so all those pools are always capped, and so there is a hard cap, and there is a minimum staking amount that you can invest, and obviously there is a maximum staking amount, and there is a lockup period which is strict 6 or 12 months. We had the 12 months with ADA. We are paying out those rewards every day, and regarding that, we are gonna also now announce the 6 months period for staking ADA. It's not going. The terms are not going to be the same, because obviously for those who staked for 12 months, the APR is much better. For those who are going to stake for 6 months, they're going to get less, because also we need to make quick bucks. But I still believe that the opportunities are appealing, and also for some people who cannot wait or are not willing to wait 12 months, now they're going to have options to stake for 6 months. We'll see how that's gonna go. So we're gonna open those pools tomorrow during the day. And if you wanna help us and support us, this is also really important for us, because as our staking center and total value locked within our ecosystem is growing, so we are growing also within the Cardano. We are still among top projects on Cardano, even when compared to the total value locked on our platform. So this is really good to see.
Yes. Yeah. Even in bear market, DeFi Llama shows some really good statistics on Revuto total value locked. So
So we're not gonna. So tomorrow you're gonna actually be able to see what we are offering. We're gonna also, before we open those pools, we're gonna put out the article, the Medium blog post about it. So please go there, read about it before you decide what to do. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna now go to answer some questions, and then let's try to go from there. I saw some familiar names here, so okay. Get better, Marko. Yeah, Marko, get better. Sound quality is not the best today. I asked if the audio was good. I think that it should be good, because we're not getting more comments regarding that. So okay, Peter. Once subscription management goes live, how many third parties will be required for it to function seamlessly? I hope not too many, so that it would be easier for you to fix issues as soon as possible by you. So when we are talking about the subscription management, so we have some third parties that we work with. The first, obviously, is KYC provider. It's a KYC provider, one of the best, SumSub. We are already working with them since the ICO. Never had a problems with those guys, but the only problem is when you do make deals with other third parties, because you need to make those three-party agreements on everything because of the data sharing, GDPR, and all the legal boring stuff. Then we have a third party which is called Banksa. I need to say now that we may have a problem with Banksa in the future app updates, because we already saw that release the next update, and Apple didn't approve it because they said that we are facilitating within the app exchange of the virtual assets. Although we are not doing that by ourselves, so we are doing that through banks, which is actually licensed and fully compliant to offer those services to the users. I believe now that they're pushing us forward towards that we need to be licensed as well as an exchange. So we're gonna see how that's gonna develop, at least for iOS app. Now because we were planning now to release actually the option buy Revu token with fiat money, and I don't know how is that gonna now develop. I'm even thinking about offering that option in the packages through the staking center, so people can stake, I don't know, ADA and then get in a return a Revu token. So we may find the workaround for this problem, but we'll see again how is that going to develop. The next, obviously, third-party provider is our banking partner and card issuer. So those are really important, and the biggest problems that we can anticipate in the future could be with those guys, because we depend on them, and if they're not able to issue debit cards to us, then we could be in a big problem. In the past, we had such a problems with the Decta. That was the first provider that we tried to integrate with, and then it was MoneyGo, and the third one was Railsbank. Actually, now the latest is RailsR. And then there is the acquiring company, WorldPay, which we don't have any experience with, but they're really, again, one of the best in business, if not the best. So I don't think that we should have a problem with those guys in the future. But again, when you depend on the third party, anything can happen. Yeah, and basically, what is the most important for us is once when we launch, that process is seamless, and then we don't have interruption in providing the service in general. Because just imagine, if we manage to onboard those people and make them use Revuto debit cards instead of their own to subscribe with their services, then if those cards are not going to work, or if anything is not going to work as it should, we're going to lose those guys, and they're not going to trust us anymore. For us, the biggest step and the first step is to make them trust us and replace their cards with our cards, which I think should be easy to do, because, and I'm going to explain that in one of the future videos that I'm going to do. There shouldn't be anybody even considering why to leave their own personal debit or credit cards with the service providers when you have Revuto. And that's it, because only with Revuto you get so much advantages, I would say, and not just about the cashback and the referral rewards and then ability to manage those payments, but also the privacy, protection, and other cool features when you don't necessarily have to even spend your own funds to pay for those expenses. Yeah, so good question.
What I want to mention just quickly is that from the beginning we are using only top tier third-party providers. So we never, even before listing, we never had an option to go on some, lowest tier, or low tier third-party service provider, because maybe it would be faster, maybe even cheaper. But yeah, it will be cheaper, but that does not provide, trust, security, and we never made a partnership with someone who is not, trusted, who does not have a portfolio of other, top tier companies in the business and so on. So yes, we depend to some extent on some third-party providers, but these are like top in the business. You cannot get much better than these.
Yeah. Okay. Are you planning to introduce liquid staking for our pools? Not at the moment. When we talk about this staking center and everything, so one major thing that we are trying to do now is actually, and I know that's a really tough topic, but we are gonna introduce the custodial wallet, and that's also one of the big updates that we plan to do, because with the custodial setup we're going to be able to support not only Cardano tokens but also Bitcoins, Ethereums, Matic, USDC, USDT, and things like that. Why I believe this is really, really important for us, the custodial setup, not only for us to be able to easily distribute those cashback rewards and referral rewards, but also to address much bigger market than Cardano is. Cardano is great, we're going to stay on Cardano. Revuto token is going to be Cardano native token, but still there is a huge market, crypto market out there, and people are having all kinds of digital assets, crypto coins, and we want to support those, the major ones, the same way as crypto.com is supporting those, the most popular coins. And this is a huge step forward for us, again, because with this we're going to address much bigger market than we are addressing now. Also, the uniqueness of the setup is going to be, yes, we're going to be supporting Cardano native tokens as well, unlike anything out there, because until now I didn't see any similar service supporting Cardano native tokens. Let's move to okay.
I can answer to Rodolfo maybe. Can you recover a Cardano wallet from the master key? Only you can recover it, because Revuto does not hold your seed phrase. That's really important security measure. You know, we do not want to be in charge of your funds in a non-custodial wallet. We're not talking about custodial wallet now. So when you make a wallet, please, you know, save your seed phrase, write it down, you know, do all the security measures, because if you lose it, then we cannot recover that wallet, because it's not in our, you know, property. But if you have any problems regarding this, if you want to create a new wallet and so on, please contact our support. I see that you said that you contacted them. Sometimes it takes, you know, some time to answer depending on the amount of tickets they have, but they will for sure answer. And if you're not sure about the status of your ticket, you can contact them again or ask in our social media, and then we will check it out.
Yeah, so now when you mentioned that non-custodial wallet, so we're going to keep both setups. We have roadmap for both.
Yes.
But the problem is with the non-custodial thing, yeah, people are losing seed phrases, and sometimes when we do an update, and this is something that we cannot control, the wallet cannot sync with the blockchain, the front end of the app, and then you need to use that seed phrase or recovery phase, and this could be a problem. We saw people losing those seed phrases and then losing their money, so I understand it, your keys, your money, but then from the user experience perspective, and especially for those that we are aiming at, people that didn't necessarily have any contact with crypto in the past, this could be a problem. So that's why we are gonna switch to the custodial setup. It's gonna be much better from the user experience standpoint, but in the end, even the DeFi is gonna be regulated. We see things that are happening right now, so the regulators and the governments are really pushing it hard on crypto, and I think that the play field is gonna be even when we talk about the traditional financial system and the crypto, because we are dealing with the people's money, and yes, crypto is not regulated, and in a way it's in advantage right now compared to other companies offering traditional financial instruments which are regulated, and that's expensive, that's hard to do. So yeah, things are gonna change in the next 2 years hugely for the crypto space. We even saw Charles a few days ago talking about the ISPOs, that investors are gonna be required to do the KYC, which makes total sense because still the citizens of the US can participate into those ISPOs without revealing their identity or anything. So IRS doesn't like it, SEC doesn't like it. Obviously, they want to protect investors, but they want to control. They want to control, and they're gonna get that control eventually, and that's a given. My opinion. I don't know how we're gonna be able to avoid.
And my opinion is that will happen with wider crypto, not only Cardano.
No.
Like regulation is going
Exactly.
in a way that maybe in the future all validators of every blockchain will need to be KYC, because and have open companies and pay taxes on the rewards and the profits and so on.
Exactly.
Maybe that's inevitable. It's too early to talk about that, but maybe it's inevitable.
Yeah, I saw that MiCA legislation, and when I saw that even the DeFi projects are going to be regulated, then it's all clear to me.
Yes.
Okay, so do you plan on listing on Binance? Sure. No, who wouldn't want to be listed on Binance? But even if the Binance would offer now to list us, we wouldn't accept it, because that's the pair of aces that we want to keep in our hands for the times when it matters. If we do that now, it would do some positive movement to the price and everything, but now it's not the right time to list on Binance. But when we're talking about that, even the Binance wouldn't list us in this stage, because they have their own, I would say, rules, and you need to have certain market cap, certain volume, minimum trade popularity and everything to be able to list it on Binance. It's not even on listing price, because Binance is actually not charging at the moment anything to be listed there. But still, you need to be one of top projects. Can you talk about Revuto's role in the Real 5 consortium? Any interesting updates benefiting Revuto? So it's an interesting group of people. So we are talking between each other. We are now making that critical mass to actually start communication with the Cardano Foundation, with IOHK, and we believe that we already got some recognition. We are talking about the specific things. I can share that in some of our videos, but also those talks that we do are recorded. So meetings, I would say, are recorded, so you can also get access to those and see what are the topics and what we are trying to achieve. Obviously, there are a couple of companies, there are different companies that we are. Some of those are sharing the same problems, some are not. Okay, again, we are all trying to connect our businesses with the real world use cases, so that is something unique, but still the needs that we have are different, and now we are trying to find a way. We also managed to do some kind of working groups to tackle those specific needs, and we're gonna see how that's gonna develop. Unfortunately, there is the problem is that all of us, which are part of that consortium, are running our own businesses, so we don't have so much time and resources to completely dedicate ourselves to that group and to its goals. But we are moving in the right direction, and I believe that this is going to be eventually a really good organization. So how many users take ADA in Revuto staking center? So this is really transparent number. We have it, so whenever you open the staking center, you're going to see the total value locked, and then you go to pool, and each pool has a card, and on that card is the present staking number. But I believe that now, like when we talk about ADA, is maybe 800,000 or 900,000, something like that. Something like that. So it's a decent number, but it's far from what we anticipated. So we were expecting more funds to be logged there. Obviously, in Cardano, people are using that mechanism to delegate ADA to stake pool operators, and then they're also using ISPOs as a mechanism to get some rewards. We are trying to be competitive, but still we are not complaining. It's good. We'll see. Actually, when things change for the better on the market, then we're going to see more movement there as well. Okay. Zvone?
Yeah. We see one question like, could you add a USDC trading pair for Revu? That's a good question, but currently that does not make sense.
USDC?
Yeah, USDC. Besides USDT.
On exchanges?
Yes, because the exchange, like listing a pair is not that easy. It's not like you do something on the front end and that's it. Because for each pair you have to have a market maker, you have to have separate accounts, you have to pay extra fees. You have, like, that's really
costly.
Yeah, it's really costly, and it does not make any sense, financial, logical, and so on, if you do not have huge volumes. So maybe if we had millions and millions of USDT, like daily volume, then maybe it would make sense to, like consider other pair, maybe USDC, maybe BTC, ADA or something. But at this moment,
maybe BTC. Yeah, but the USDC is the same as the USDT almost. I know that now the USDC is the thing because everybody is afraid of if the Tether is
if it's going to collapse. But like one user already answered in the comments, if that happens,
we're all done.
Yeah, Revuto would be our last worry.
Yeah,
if this happens.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But still, you can easily trade your USDC in that moment when you want to buy a Revu or sell. You can exchange USDT for USDC pretty easy, and on those centralized exchanges, fees are really low compared to DEXs. So I don't see any problem with that. In the future, when the liquidity comes, I see maybe more potential in Revu/BTC pair and Revu/Ethereum or something like that than trying to cover all those stable coins.
Yeah, and we have some liquidity with ADA on DEXs. It's not huge because Cardano DEXs are like really at their inception, so to say, but you have liquidity for ADA, and most people can actually, if they need ADA, they could like transfer Revu to ADA and then ADA to USDC or some other stablecoin or whatever. So it's not like, even if something happens with USDT, which we hope won't, because then there will be some collapse on the market with many setups, even then you would be able to convert Revu to ADA if you want, or other Cardano native tokens and so on. So I think that should be our last worry at this moment.
Compared to other tokens, I believe that Revu is pretty liquid asset. So one of the most liquid assets.
Yes, and we have seen that recently, like I mentioned in the beginning, with this $1 million, price movement, daily volume, if that happened with some other Cardano native tokens, I'm not sure if there would be even enough liquidity, and the price movements would be, even greater than Revu's.
Yeah. Last question: how much do you regret involving yourself with crypto? That's a good question. So, well, I don't regret it. It's an interesting movement happening, and I already mentioned that I believe that now we are in the middle of a transformation of financial system as we know it. The old one, the archaic one, is not working efficient enough, and the internet technology is offering us now to do much more to make that programmable money, and the smart contracts and so many other things. So I'm not regretting that. I'm maybe just regretting the stress that I'm taking because of running the company and then looking every day on those charts and then seeing the questions from the community, and not just the questions. Sometimes people threaten to me, or they're disappointing with something, and they're calling us all different names. So that's stressful, but I'm not regretting this. I'm actually trying to do something. We are trying to do something meaningful here and change the subscription economy as we see it. So we have a good, how to put it, goal, motivation. Being involved with crypto. But yes, it's going to get even tougher now with the regulation. It's going to be crazy.
Petar has another question.
Mm-hmm.
He says, could you maybe add official Revu burn address for those who would maybe want to contribute lower token price by lowering overall tokens in circulation?
No, this is something that you cannot do.
And there is no need to do this. If you really want to burn Revu tokens, you can just transfer them to some other wallet and forget about it, or make another wallet and do not write a seed phrase down and just delete it. But that's not something we like to do. Some other blockchains offer these solutions, but you always have to trust someone who made that burn address, that they do not have a seed phrase, that they do not hold it secretly, and so on. So that's not something we want to do. And Cardano is a blockchain, like Charles already said multiple times, you cannot burn ADA. That's not the way they want to build, and we align with these views,
But that's also forbidden. I have to say that, because when we did with that legal audit, legal opinion, it was called, because we are listed on centralized exchanges, and those exchanges are regulated. So we had to remove any kind of those market manipulating mechanisms. So you can do that with the tokens that are going to be traded on DEXs, but if you do like the burn mechanism, that's against the law. So you're in a way manipulating the market and the price of the token. And I also have to mention that even if you do that now, if you just send the Revu tokens on some, I don't know, address that you don't own, you don't have keys, private keys for that, it's not going to help in any way, at least not now when there is no additional buying pressure. Those mechanisms, yes, they help when there is a demand, but in this stage, it wouldn't, change a lot. That's why I even say, using the staking center and those like lockup mechanisms, that's good, but still, this is just one step towards something that should happen in the future. So without additional demand, buying pressure on the token, we can do whatever. We can even like lock up 100% of the circulating supply, but if there is no demand, price is not gonna go up. Okay, merge. Yeah, we are not gonna focus on merge. There are a couple of things that we are unfortunately not focusing on. Maybe we should, but we're more focusing on the product and on development than on some things that we should do. Even we should maybe redo the crypto.revuto.com web page. So this is something that we should do. There's some complaints about our design language and everything. So I'm not really focused on those things, because I don't think that this is something essential for the business, having the overproduced, really nice looking web pages and the videos. It's nice to have it, but again, if you don't deliver the product, then you can have the best web page and best designer. It's not going to help you. Okay. When you run out of Revu tokens to give as a reward for staking in basic staking pool, will you close it, since buyback is not an option? Okay, so staking basic pool is just a reward is 10%. So if you check on our token distribution, you're going to see that the 53% of the token supply was reserved for the company. So we have plenty of those tokens to give away as staking rewards. Now it's going to be, it's not even like 2 years, and not all tokens that are in circulating supply are staked. So now it's 47 million. So those tokens are staked in different staking pools. So if you look at it, so even if all of them are gonna get like 10%, that's like around 5 million tokens for a year. So it's not much, and let's say that we still have around 140 million tokens in the company. So it's a good incentive for the users. But then also if we talk about other rewards and cashback incentives, so also it's hard to predict when we're gonna run out of those tokens. But how that works is also the token price goes up, and then as the user base grows, and then those rewards or incentives become less and less. So I don't know, if you pay something now with what is $10 with Revuto, and then you get 4% cashback, is 40 cents, and now the token is around 3 cents. Yeah. It's a lot of tokens, but then as the price is going to go up, those 40 cents are going to be much less tokens, and then at one point maybe you're going to get just 0 point something Revu for that cashback, and we're going to still have a lot of tokens. So this is how it works. You stay in the company with less tokens, but then the amount, like the price of those tokens goes up, and then
that's actually calculated when we were doing tokenomics at the inception of the project. That was all calculated, and that's why, as we can see today, even after few years, we have like excellent tokenomics still.
Yeah, very conservative.
Comparing to some other, I'm not going to call names, of course, but a lot of projects have really messed up tokenomics because they were not thinking about that when they were doing white papers and token generating events. So they have some problems now with market caps, with liquidity, with price movements, with devaluation, and Revu was really like one of the best. Yeah. That's not because I'm in Revuto, but one of the best tokenomics I have seen, because that's all thought out, and what Vedran just explained is like hyperbolic function. As the price goes up, the amount of Revu tokens that's given back as a cashback goes down, and how price goes to the infinity, this amount of Revu tokens goes to zero. So you can I think we have a lot of years or even decades before company would run out of Revu tokens if Revu token price goes up.
And then the vesting schedule was really good, because now all tokens are released from the investors, so there is some more tokens that can be dumped on the market. Some other projects they just sold a really small initial supply of the tokens, and then now they have a lot of tokens still to be vested, and that's crazy. And even they pumped the market cap of the token, so we have again very conservative numbers. So there is a really nice space to grow for a Revuto, but again, let's not focus on those things. Focus should be on the project, the problem that we are solving with the app, with the service, and then on the utility of the Revu token. That is all that matters. How many NFTs of each has been sold available so far, and how is it affecting the development? So not a lot NFTs. I can actually, we can put some numbers out, but it's really nothing significantly. So we can look at it and in a good way or bad way. The good way is that obviously we are late with some developments and launch of the core features. So it would be for us worse if there would be much more those Revolution NFTs sold. So in the other hand, those who bought those NFTs are gonna have really good position, because not many of those are out of those 10,000 that we anticipated to sell. So really small amount. And yeah, so but I'm not sure about the numbers, but we can. I don't have any problem with being transparent about it. So we're gonna probably do a blog post about it and put exact numbers. I'm just sad that we couldn't manage to sell those NFTs, which can transfer to physical debit cards. Again, it's a great product, unique features, and unique for the Cardano. It's gonna support Cardano native tokens, but I know that the Cardano is a great community and everything, but somehow, I don't know, either people didn't know about it or they don't believe in it or something like that. So, yeah, but still, those are available. We cannot discontinue them because we agreed with the third-party service provider to release a specific number of those metal and plastic, we call them premium, physical debit cards. Although that's also postponed. I'm not sure if those are going to be released by the end of this year, probably early next year, but that moment's going to come as well. Time flies by. So yeah,
Yes.
it is. Whenever you think that something is really far away, a few months, half a year, and then it's going to be like this. They say the sound is really bad. So
But
yeah.
some others say it's good for them. So
The audio is good for me. Okay. So do we have any? You could condense your social media presence to platforms only. That would free some resources. Get rid of Instagram and Discord, for example, and only have Telegram and Twitter. So I would partially agree with that. So we are trying to focus on those things that works for us now. But the thing is that things are gonna change pretty fast, and then what? The engagement is gonna come again. Everything's gonna be super crazy, super tense, and you have to be present on all those channels. So it's not like we can just forget about those channels. Although we did change something, so we are not posting so regularly on Instagram. It's not really important channel for us. If you have something to add, please be my guest.
well, we lowered activity, as you said, on some social media platforms, but we're not going to like delete accounts or like stop posting it. That does not make sense because it's not really common, but in crypto. But there are some people who maybe want to invest in Revu or like enroll the project, but they do not have Telegram or Twitter or something. So we also want to be present on the Instagram and the Facebook and Reddit and so on, because the engagement will come, like Vedran said, and we want to be ready. We want to have a reputation. We are here, not from yesterday, but for a long time now. And yeah, it sometimes takes time, which we could invest in some other place in development, but it will be worth it, trust me.
Again, the question about the metal card. So yeah, estimate is by the end of the year, but it all depends when we're going to be releasing the virtual debit cards. Let's hope that that's going to happen soon. Again, it depends on the several factors. Even now we are considering maybe doing the equity round and get sufficient funds to really make big hype around our product on certain markets, but we're gonna see how that's gonna develop. So many moving parts are around, so it's hard to predict anything really firm, but if not by the end of the year, then probably beginning of the next year. So yeah, that's 12 months from now. Again, if you like it, purchase it. You're not gonna regret it. At one point, even before we launch those physical debit cards, those NFTs are gonna be minted, and you're gonna be able actually to resell them if you want. So that's gonna be one of the options for those who purchase those NFTs. Yeah.
We have one question also any idea what caused the 1.2 million in volume a few days ago? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, but we have been analyzing like internally some volumes, and and also during this price movement, we analyzed Twitter, like who tweeted about Revu, what happened, and so on. And what we find out that, okay, sure, there were some people who were in for the pump and dump, let's say it like that, who were like jumping in the train. But we have seen on Twitter that some people are tweeting Revuto or Revu for the first time. So these were new users. And there were also a few people who bought some substantial amounts of Revu who did not dump it afterwards. It's hard to tell, on the centralized exchange, you cannot track the wallets like you can on DEX. So you cannot be 100% sure. But what we have seen, from this price action is that someone, it could be, like some Cardano investors, some other investors, already some Revu holders, maybe some whale, they jumped in the Revuto community and they like made sure they have some Revu ready for the bull run. That's my hypothesis, not something I proved. So that's why we were happy, And you could also see that because when price jumped, then it declined, which is normal. You have to have a drawback. But then this was the higher low. So it's not like someone dumped and then it became the same price. So we had higher low, and then when it pumped again a few days later, there were also higher low, which we are on now. Yeah. So that means that net amount of Revu sentiment, I would say, was buying. So
it was buying, but again, as you said, it's really hard to know what was happening. Probably, somebody bought decent amount of Revu tokens, and when that happens, instantly it creates big spike in the price. And then when that happens, then on those exchanges we are trending because we have the highest gain or one of among the highest, and then it creates the domino effect of people for those 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, buying and thinking about Revuto, buying, selling. So it creates trading volume. That's good because obviously project is alive and people are noticing us. But again, it's hard to sustain that growth in price because there is no follow-up investments. The market is still pretty dead. So eventually somebody is going to see the price and then decide to sell because maybe somebody bought it for the less and then sees the opportunity to sell for more and then hope that it can again buy for less, and this is how it goes, and eventually market does its thing and you cannot do anything about it. You mentioned pump and dump groups. I'm not familiar with those. Maybe that can happen as well, but we see regularly that those spikes happen, and I compare those, when you drive on the Autobahn and you ask, why now all cars are standing and nobody knows, because it's like, I don't know, something, maybe somebody braked or something, and then suddenly many cars. So this is, I don't know, something at that moment happened, but it's good. It shows again that price can move really easily. We have a good setup when, just imagine when market comes around again in the same fashion as in 2021, then this could really be great for everybody. But again, let's not focus on the token price. Yes. I know I always fall in that as I, as a CEO, shouldn't be talking about those things, and I'm not. Okay. I don't want to end up, with somewhere be prosecuted by the SEC or something like that. I think that crypto CEOs talk too much about token prices, and that's not good. Even CEOs of exchanges and everything, because just them telling or sharing some information can manipulate the market.
It's
A conflict of interest, and that's not allowed actually. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So we said that this one is going to be the short one, like 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, but we always somehow get up to one hour of event. Thank you again for being here. Thank you, Zvone, for being here. In the next few days, I'm going to do the video, upload the video about the Revuto, the product, the whole roadmap, and the features that we want to launch, and why this is so cool product, why people should benefit from it big time, and why we should actually eventually make big splash, at least not just on in the crypto space, but in terms of that subscription business and economy in general.
Yes.
So yeah.
If you have any questions unanswered or anything, just please ask on our social media, and our team will be on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Thank you, and see you next month.
Have a nice day or evening.
See
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.